Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Today we're talking about the apartment market, the multifamily industry. Please welcome my next guest. It's Scott Spalding. Scott is a VP with the apartment group at Bull Realty. He's joining us here in Studio One. Scott, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Michael.
Well, Scott, you're out there in the field every day talking to buyers and sellers and doing deals, so we all want to know where the opportunities are.
Well, it's going to depend upon the amount of equity you're looking to invest, the size of your projects, as well as the class type, but there are several opportunities available. And one such opportunity is if you're in the institutional Class A market, and that opportunity right now is to sell.
Right.
I mean, interest rates are going to increase at some point. Apartments have had a tremendous ride. We're still positive on apartments, but this may be the time to sell an asset or two. And we've been having great success, marketing Class A properties, so that may be something to consider. Okay. And then also on the acquisition side, you may want to think about repositioning an asset, whether it's an A-, a B, or even a C property, depending upon the market. You want to make sure you're in a market that has strong job growth. So if you take it, for example, say here in Atlanta, where our headquarters are located, we're still seeing, significant increases in the B and C properties. They are tougher to manage, but through that difficult management process is where the upside lies.
Yeah, they're not making any more B or C product, right?
No, they're sure not.
Sure not.
And then on the development side, there's several cities around the country that are still poised for new developments. So it really just depends on where your interests lie.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you mentioned the time to sell Class A properties, but I think a lot of people are as Jay mentioned, are kind of looking, hey, when's the downside coming, and trying to guess when it is. But what do you see with sellers today? It seems like in the last good times we had and before the recession, there was some sellers that got really good offers on properties and held out, that actually when the market went down, some of those people even lost their properties to foreclosure. And you really look smart, selling it before the downturn came. What are you seeing with sellers today in that regard?
Well, I'm seeing sellers getting great offers, but they're trying to time the market perfectly. And I think that if we do have the correction in 17 and 18, like many predict, there are going to be some sellers that are going to be stuck holding the bag. I think like you mentioned, I think many of them forgot about what happened in 2007.
Well, we have short memories, right?
That we do.
Of the bad times. We don't even want to think about it, right? So you see sellers that are getting what you think are good offers. I mean, we talk about these cap rates in the 5s, and even in Atlanta, I guess, in these Class A properties, you're seeing those kind of caps, and some sellers are saying no.
I've seen offers in the 4 cap range, and sellers are still saying no.
Wow.
So it's a difficult time.
Wow. Well, what about for an investor who's trying to get into some of these B and C properties? They seem to be, hard to find. What would you tell them?
Get a good broker.
Get a broker, right? Where can you find one of those? They're all over the country, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So call me if you want to broker around the country. We can refer you some brokers in different markets for different class properties that you see out there. What about a quick management tip for some folks who maybe own these B and C properties that are harder to manage?
Well, I think you want to think about it from a tenant's perspective with a management cap on. And what I mean by that is, what would you like if you lived in this property? What's the type
Open bar?
Well, not necessarily that, but just the type of service that you'd be looking for, some of the amenities you're looking for, but also keep in mind that you got to stay in budget.
Yeah, and that is a tough property type really to manage, and I think that's why there's really opportunities there, because you get an A property with great management, maybe you can tweak it a little bit, but with a B or especially a C, there can be a lot of upside, right?
There can be.
Yeah.
And also, like you said, with the management process, that's where you're going to make or lose your money. It's right. Because the B and C properties, you're dealing with a different type of clientele, and so it takes a little more expertise to manage that.
Well, Scott, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us out there on one of the radio stations around the country, or on YouTube, or the show website, commercialrealestateshow.com. Be sure and join us next week where we talk about another hot sector, the industrial sector. So until next week, be sure that you always lead, learn, and laugh, and join us for the Commercial Real Estate Show. The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Bull Realty, commercial real estate asset and occupancy solutions. Visit bullrealty.com. CCIM Institute, commercial real estate's global standard for professional achievement. Visit ccim.com/CRE show. Xceligent, providing verified commercial real estate information across the United States. Visit xceligent.com. Valuate, easily share what-if analysis online with colleagues. Visit getvaluate.com.